Good afternoon, LvL faithful. It is your commissioner here. Just checking in after a incredible week one slate of games last night. I typically like to do this video in the morning, but was kind of busy, so just getting here on the lunch break to give you a little update, give you a little lore, as we call it. So we'll start off with everybody played their hearts out. Absolutely most competitive outings of basketball I've watched in Southeast Texas, not NCAA or professional basketball that I've ever seen. So you guys did an amazing job. I appreciate the intensity, the physicality, and the integrity. Of course, there was some that ran their mouths, talked trash, etc. If that's the way we do it, that's fine, but we have to keep it within the confines and PG, if not G rated, for the women and children that are in the gym. So with that being said, first game was quite a run. It was Desperados pulled it out 62 to the Grizz 48. So that's a 14-point difference there. All game was closer than that. These guys battled hard, but the Desperados pulled it out. They seem more team-oriented, and we can get to that in a minute, but it looked like Walker Britton was the man of the hour with his team. He led them with a real efficient 19-3 with 3 three-pointers made, 2 assists, 2 steals. Shot a very high percentage, man. I mean, kid's a lightning in a bottle. We got Jeremy Garza that made the cut, too, on highlights here. He had 3 steals and chipped in quite some stats across the board. What about Jaden Gravis, his debut in LvL? Older brother showed him how to do it, and he has his own plans for what he's going to do to this league. 16 and 10, the double-double by the young man. One of my favorites in the league here, Seth Jones, old running mate in high school of mine, 12 and 5 with 4 stocks. Absolutely unstoppable on defense and played his heart out. Neil Vitalicio had stats across the board. The captain, Moyo, chipped in 5 boards. It was a collective effort for that team. Hats off to them to win. The Grizzlies had their faithful leader, Watley, lead with a 21-8 game. The Tank Dobbins, 8 and 6. Devin the Spider had 7, 5, and 3 steals. Big Danny Riddick had 5 boards, and Seth Corcoran went with 10 and 2. The holes in their game were shown that, as it was expected, there's a lot of individual players on that team that like to get it going, but they ended up with only 3 assists in the entire game as a team. So hopefully next week they will bounce back. I know they have their sights set on gold and the championship rings and the Get Up Cup, but we will have to see week 2 for the bounce back. We had the heavy hitter game of the week was the next game, too. That was a 59-58 win for the Wolfpack against the Lumberton Rockets. They earned this one. Lumberton Rockets played their hearts out, led until 2 seconds left in the game, pretty much the entire game. And the player of the week, newcomer, Cam the Beast Powell, wins player of the week with an incredible 26 and 5, 4 3-pointers made. His floater at the end of the game sealed the deal for them. There was a foul at the end. Joel Boykin had a chance to go to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 to tie it and then win it, but he missed the free throw. So the Wolfpack prevailed, and with Cam leading the way at 26 and 5, he had some help from a Silsbee native there, Jalen Hardaway, 16 and 9, and Jalen led the league with this week with 5 steals. So hats off to him. His boy Decarius Butler went in as well on defense, had a nice 6 and 4 rebounds with 4 steals. So I mean, between Jalen and Decarius, they both had 9 steals. So that's massive effort on defense. Will the Muscle Fussle went with 4 and 5 with 4 stonks, and you got to hats off to Stephen McCabe. He does the little things. They call him the coach. 7 boards, 4 assists, and a block. And he was doing all the little things for his team like that. Like I said, he's not looking to score on his team. He knows his role, and he played it well. And I just can't say enough about that team. They were down the entire time. They were never broken, never shook. Made the plays at the end of the game to win it. On the other side, they had Quentin Rico, who balled out his LvL debut as well. 17, 5, and 3 steals. Thad Radu with a 16 and 8 and 5 assists. So 16 points, 8 boards, 5 assists by Thad. Gravis had 11 boards and 7 assists and quite a few stalks. He also had a crazy two-handed block that will be previewed on the highlight reel, I'm sure. Joel Boykin had 11 and 5. Uncle Dumpy had 8 and 2. And Troy Bolzer had 5 rebounds. So that rounded out their best performances for the night. And like I said, that was we basically denote one game a week after it's all said and done, which was the heavy hitter of the game. A 1-point win with 2 seconds left. Cam Powell's legacy continues on. Back-to-back state champion at Coots in his heyday. He's bringing the winning ways over here to the LvL. Class act guy. Stayed beat up from these guys. They were giving him no love down there and fouling him almost every play. But he kept his mouth shut, played through contact, and finished strong. And good things come to those who keep it going. So hats off to Cam. Ricky Mays wasn't there, the captain, but hats off to Ricky's Wolf Pack. They are going to be a formidable opponent for everyone. Game 3 was another banger. Probably would have been the heavy hitter of the week had we not had a game winner by the Wolf Pack. But the Ankle Breakers clipped the Season 1 champion Dukes of Lumberton 56-51. We had the Ankle Breakers led by the newcomer, Mr. Brandon Letzinger, with a 17 and 12. I mean, the guy has springs on the back of his jersey for a reason. Jump out of the gym, as athletic as they come. Just a lockdown defender, too. Had a pretty hefty matchup with some of the tough scoring opponents of the Dukes to lock him up, and he did what he needed to. Fan favorite, Romano, 12, 4, and 3. He always does the little things. Massive hustler. Same with this guy, Elliot Hudson, another guy that just keeps his mouth shut and plays through the contact, 8 and 4. Mr. Clean Verdine, Randy Verdin, had 7 boards, 3 assists. Justin Brooks, his LvL debut, Silsby legend there, 7 points, 5 boards. And Jeff Herreros had 5 points and 4 boards as well. So collective effort by the ABs to take out the champion Dukes. But the Dukes have something cooking over there. They've got a Kuntz legend, Keita Hancock, his first debut game. He went 21 and 2. And there was a moment there where I thought he was about to catch fire and drop 40, but they tightened the defense up on him pretty good. But he went 21 and 2 his first game. We got Big Edwards. He went for 11 and 8. Spencer Shaw went for 16 and 8. Big O went for 5 boards, and newcomer Keith Rushing went for 3 and 5 boards. So again, hats off to them. They almost pulled off the victory, but the Ankle Breakers felt some kind of way in the championship game last year that they lost in to the Dukes of Lumberton. So it was nice to see a little get back by the Ankle Breakers wearing the yellow and purple Lakers inspired jerseys. So for our final game, it was another good one. The score didn't really tell the tale of the tape, if you will, but the Outlaws come through in the victory, 57-45 for the 409ers. Outlaws led by newcomer Trey Jones, 15 and 12. The Outlaws are the only team that had everyone on their team score, and they're the only team that also had everybody score at least 5 points. So if you want to talk about how to play as a unit, collectively, everybody get involved, you'd have to go back and watch the blueprint that they've now laid forth in the defeat of the 409ers, because they played as a team unit. Everybody got their hands dirty and finished it off. Caleb Carey with 10-3. Jason Williamson was 6-5 and 3 stonks. Mr. S across the board, 5 and 4 assists, 2 steals. Abate, 9-2. And I have a note here that he left a chef's kiss to Jordan Williamson. They were chattering back and forth on some great banter. The crowd was into it. It was phenomenal. They kept it all PG. It was nothing, negative. I felt like it was all within the confines, but they wanted it. Both of them wanted to win, and Abate helped them. The Outlaws pulled it off. Mike Sanders with the 6-2, and he and Timothy Holt are both newcomers to the league, and Holt went with 6-5. 409ers, Jay Will, the trash talking he did have for Abate, he backed it up with the team high 13-8, and I'd say Jay Will probably shot 70% from the field. So he came out and hit his first 3 threes, was feeling it, but they just didn't have enough gas to stop the team that had it going, which was the Outlaws. Marcus Dunham, his debut, he had an awesome game of 6-4, and then he had a league-high 4 blocks. I'm a huge block fan, so to see Marcus Dunham doing a little bit of everything, getting his block on, is right up my alley. Appreciated his efforts. George Williamson, the brother battle between Jason and George, 2 Vider basketball legends. George went with 6-5 with 4 stonks, and Gabe Williams chipped in 7-2. And then we had Cade Harmon. I don't know if I mentioned that. Cade Harmon had 11-4. So just not enough gas in the tank for the 409ers. But when you play a team like the Outlaws, it's going to have everybody score at least 5 points, man. Everybody on the other team is going to have to bring the heat if they think they're going to eclipse it. So that's the first LvLore video for Season 2. Wanted to give you guys a quick recap. Still waiting on the live stream upload. It takes forever on YouTube for whatever reason, so probably about midday today it'll finalize. And then we also have the interactive live stream. We did that in 4K, and that will be loaded to YouTube hopefully by end of night. And that's the best angles of the game. So if there's any questionable calls, things that you wanted to review, I had even somebody tell me that we needed to check out how many timeouts we gave a team. That would be the stream to review, confirm. Guys, we're working our best to work out the kinks, be the best version of ourselves as a unit for Lumberton Vets League. It was our first week. Show some grace. We're not perfect. I could assume that if we had professional NBA level refs, there'd still be people complaining, saying that they're not good. So we're going to give our best efforts. We hope that you guys will as well, but we also hope that we can keep the trash talk to a minimum. Any negativity towards the refs this upcoming week, we were very lenient this week, trying to let you guys kind of work it out. But next week, we do have to have a discussion about putting the refs on notice, trying to make a spectacle of us. It's not going to happen. We're going to tech you up, and then eventually, there's other ways that we'll handle that. So I appreciate everybody that participated. I appreciate everybody that came with the excitement, energy, as well as everybody that went out there and busted their hump to try to get in shape. You could tell who's been out there hooping. You could tell who's been working out, who's been staying in shape, and then there was plenty of guys you could tell hadn't picked up a ball since last season. So you got a week to recover, got a week to get your shots in, Tuesday, I hope there's more people at the practices than I saw the first week. You know, we had enough for basically to make out basically a entire team for every group. But, you know, I would make the assumption if I had practice time designated that I paid for my team to show up, I'd be in those group messages telling guys, hey, we got to get up there Tuesday. Our time is this. We need all 9 here. We need to all be participating and working the chemistry on the court that you need to win in a competitive league like this. If not, continue to stack L's, because that's what's going to happen. This league has too many real good ball players for every week. If you hadn't put in the work up to the point, you're going to take an L. These guys are too good, man. It's just that way this year. So, again, hats off to everybody for week 1. Go rest. Go enjoy your weekend. But stay on the grind, guys. Commish out.